Welcome to the Tech Wrap-Up. Today on the Tech Wrap-Up we will have the tech news. Also, Apple has announced the M2 Pro and Max MacBook Pros, an M2 and M2 Pro Mac Mini, and a new HomePod. Also today, Samsung has announced the Galaxy S23, S23 Plus, and S23 Ultra as Galaxy Unpacked. We will also have more topics. Welcome to the Tech Wrap-Up. It is nice to have you with us. Okay, so for this Tech Wrap-Up, we are actually filming behind the scenes. So there will be a video on like Thursday, so we've got that camera recording over there. Yeah, so there will be a video sometime soon of like this whole show behind the scenes. You can see all of my monitors. It's gonna look cool. It looks awesome. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else, but before we get into the tech news, I'm having some issues with getting OBS encoding to work. I'll be putting a thing on the Linus Tech Tips forums soon, so keep an eye out on the Computer Crunch Discord server. But basically I've got an empty GPU, I'm running Manjaro Linux. If I go into screen capture, so basically in my OBS settings, in the outputs, it's not showing the VA API encoder in advanced. It won't do it in simple, but yeah. So it's really annoying, and for now I'm having to use software encoding. At least it's got more power than my MacBook Air did with its dual-core i3, and yeah, integrated GPU. So let's get into the tech news. Okay. Alright, let's get into the tech news. I'm testing out a couple of new things here as well. Okay. Have we fallen out of love with voice assistants? To begin with, Abigail Barnes loved her voice assistant. Now it lives in the drawer. I used my Amazon Alexa to turn on the lights or set a timer, and as a speaker for books and podcasts, says the 43-year-old Londoner. She turned my fan on and off during the heat wave and played me Christmas music in the winter. Miss Barnes would ask her device to set alarms, tell the time or the weather, or for the weather forecast. I kept my first Alexa in the kitchen, and a few months later, why is this? My mouse is playing up. And a few months later, I got a second Alexa and set up in my bedroom. However, Mrs. Barnes, it's not Miss, Mrs., it's Ms. Ms. Barnes fell out of love with her voice assistants when they began giving her frequent delivery notifications, asking her to review purchases or prompting her to reorder items. This is Amazon, by the way. Google things don't do that. It started giving me random updates or asking me to rate a product I'd bought last month, which I found really irritating. She became concerned about conversation data being stored in a cloud somewhere. Then she found the voice commands became unreliable. I stopped asking her to turn off the lights when I went to bed, as I'd ask a number of times and then manually turn them off anyway. What started saving our time she says, quickly became something that cost time. The Internet of Things, IoT, is the ever-growing network of physical objects connected to the Internet. Is increasingly becoming embedded in our lives. I'm just gonna disable this monitor thing because I can hear myself, and now I can't. Okay, I should be able to speak better now. Voice assistants such as Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, and Apple Siri enable users to control IoT devices by voice command. It is estimated that this year, the number of voice assistants in existence will match the global population, at around 8 billion. However, after the several boom years, the big tech companies are making cutbacks, with their voice assistant units in particular trouble. Right, let's get on to our next story, if my mouse works. Okay, Interpol working out how to police the metaverse. Interpol Secretary Jürgen Stock says the global police agency is investigating how the organization could police crime in the metaverse. The metaverse is widely discussed, but not yet realized, concept that in the future people will be represented by 3D avatars in their online lives. Interpol has built its own virtual reality space where users can do training and attend virtual meetings. Mr. Stock says it is important for the agency to not get left behind. Criminals are sophisticated and professional and very quickly adapting to any new technological tool that is available to commit crime. We need to sufficiently respond to that. Sometimes lawmakers, police, and our societies are running a little bit behind. We have seen if we are doing it too late, it already impacts trust in the tools we are using, and therefore the metaverse. In similar platforms that already exist, criminals are using it. The environment, which can only be accessed through secure servers, enables police officers to experience what the metaverse could be, giving them a sense of the crimes that could occur and how they could be policed. Yeah. That was the tech news. Let's get into our first topic, if this works. Oh. Apple has announced M2 and M2 Pro Mac Mini, the M2 Pro and the... Let me restart here. Apple has announced the M2 and M2 Pro Mac Mini and the M2 Pro and M2 Max 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pros, and even a new HomePod. Yep, they've brought back the big HomePod, the overpriced one. Yeah, that was a very wordy sentence there. I hated it. So apparently the base model M2 and M2 MacBook Pros and the Mac Mini, they have worse storage speeds now for the lower tier. But yeah. So there is a small increment between the generations, but it's a decent increment for the fact that this is only Apple's second generation of desktop silicon. But yeah, the M2, the Mac Mini now has an M2 Pro chip, so the only Mac left in Apple's lineup with Intel is the Mac Pro, which is interesting. Don't buy that thing unless you absolutely need Intel. Dun 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 dun. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Let's check the Twitch chat. Hello Twitch. Anything you want to say? Nah. Okay. I'll just send another thing because I was a bit late. We had a couple of issues getting started. So yeah, on to our next topic. I need some water. Samsung has announced new products at Galaxy Unpacked. This mouse is being a little bit stupid at the moment. Okay, so the Galaxy S23 Ultra now has a 200 megapixel camera sensor. And the base model of the Ultra comes with 256 gigabytes of storage. So there's some small upgrades across the lineup, and the sides of the phones are actually flat now, just like Apple's. So Samsung has also announced the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra, which features either an Intel Core i7 or a Core i9 processor with a RTX 4050 or 4070 mobile graphics chip, and a 16-inch OLED display, which has a 120Hz refresh rate. So the Galaxy Book 3 and 3 Pro have 360, have gone bare displays. So yeah, they've got a 2880 by 1800 120Hz AMOLED display on the Book 3 Ultra. Yeah. So that's it for that. So we've actually got a lot of stories today. So, yeah. I guess that's on to our next topic. The number of staff suing Twitter is rising. So basically, there are at least 100 former employees launching legal action against Twitter because they think Elon Musk has failed in the leadership of Twitter. Twitter has not responded to BBC News' request for comment. I wonder why. So yeah, so about half of Twitter's workforce was fired when Elon Musk took over. So there would have been a lot of unhappy people. And yeah. So he probably deserves to be sued, to be honest, but we'll have to see this unfold over the next few months. Okay. Should we get on to our next topic? Nvidia has found an issue where Discord is slowing down its graphics cards. Discord, out of all things! How could Discord have much of an effect on your graphics card? Well, let's see. So apparently Discord will limit the video memory clock speeds for some reason. So it underclocks it by 200 megahertz. Which, yeah. So I don't know how Discord could affect it. So there's no explanation here. I guess Nvidia's trying to find why. But yeah, they've got a fix for it though. So yeah. Okay, shall we head on to our next topic? So that's a bit of an oopsie for Nvidia. I wonder whether it's actually Nvidia's fault though. Hope Discord isn't doing anything. Anyway, have we got anything on Twitch? Nope. Okay. Should we head on to our break now? Yeah, now it's time for a break. I'm sorry today's tech wrap-up is going to be quite short because I don't have anyone to talk to, so yeah, we can't talk about the topics. Yeah, anyway.
Watching seasons change, our roads were lined with adventure. Mountains in the way couldn't keep us from the sea. Here we stand, open arms. This is home where we are, ever strong in the world that we made. I still hear you in the breeze. See your shadows in the trees.
welcome back. I just had to shuffle a couple of things around there. Here are the latest Crunch News headlines. Apple has announced the M2 Pro and Max MacBook Pros, an M2 Pro Mac Mini, and a new HomePod. Samsung has announced the Galaxy S23, S23 Plus, and S23 Ultra at its Galaxy Unpacked event. More Twitter employees are suing Twitter after Elon Musk has fired them. Also, voice assistants are becoming less popular. Interpol is working out how to police the metaverse. Okay, that is it for the Crunch News headlines. On to our next topic. Google is holding an event about search, Max, AI, and more. So they might be creating a competitor for ChatGPT or something. Oh, we've got a message in the chat. Anyway, let's continue on. I'll reply with it soon. So it's going to be on February the 8th, February the 9th here in New Zealand. Yeah, so the 40-minute event will be streamed on YouTube on the 8th of February, blah blah blah, at 8:30 AM Eastern Time. So it's planning on letting people interact directly with its newest, most powerful language models as a companion to search. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. So I might be able to tell you some things from it on next week's Tech Wrap Up. So yeah, that looks cool. Yeah. Okay, so let's head on to our next topic. Pakistan is blocking Wikipedia. Okay, so the ban has come after the government ordered the site to remove offending content within 48 hours. So it's over sacrilegious content on the site. So according to research from the Open Initiative, the country blocks sites that have content it considers to be blasphemous, anti-Islamic, or threatening to internal security. So yeah, if you're in Pakistan, you don't have access to Wikipedia anymore. So yeah, that's a bit unlucky if you're living in Pakistan, but yeah, that's the world these days. Okay, so let's end on to our next topic. So Spotify has an outage, so that's very spotty. Wow. So if we wait for this to load, so the app refused to load, and it wouldn't even play songs. and Spotify's website was down. So yeah, that's not very good. So less than 2 weeks ago, there was a similar outage that lasted for 3 hours. So this is the second time it's happened in the space of 1 month, which isn't too I've forgotten the word, but yeah. This mouse is being a big problem. But yeah, so if you were using Spotify, you might have noticed that there was an outage, and it might be to do with somebody pressing the wrong button. Anyway, shall we head on to our next topic? Twitter has changed its font. So it is unclear why Twitter has changed the font, but it might make it easier to spot impersonators. So zeros now have a slash through them, and it is easier to tell the difference between an uppercase I and a lowercase l. So yeah, it's only on the website for now, but it'll probably be rolling up to the to other platforms. Yeah. Okay. This mouse. Okay. And finally, Microsoft is integrating ChatGPT into Bing. So Bing might actually be good. Well done, Microsoft. So, apparently a student and designer, Owen Yin, reported seeing the new Bing on Twitter this morning. He told The Verge via Twitter DM that he has Bing set as his homepage on Microsoft's Edge browser, and the new UI just loaded up. Didn't do anything to find it, said Yin. After a couple of minutes it stopped working. Jaw dropped when I realized what I was looking at. The Verge has been unable to verify the authenticity of the screenshot though, so I can probably just open it up here for now. Okay. So that's apparently what Bing might look like, so yeah. And that is the tech wrap up for today. This is available on YouTube and Twitch. Remember to like, share this video with your friends, follow us on Twitch and Wisdom, and subscribe to us. Also, check out our Minecraft Java server. It's not up and running right now at provider-chart.craft.ply.gg, port 42790, and our Minecraft Bedrock server at provider-chart.at.ply.gg, and the port is 42790. See you next week, hopefully. Bye! Yeah, that was a pretty short tech wrap up, but it's longer than the original ones that we had. But anyway, Thanks for watching.
Summer in the hills, those hazy days I do remember. We were running still, had the whole world at our feet, watching seasons change.